Welcome to A Course in Miracles. Take a breath. I know you all want to make sure you're totally innocent because as hot as it is outside, even if there was a hell, you want to make sure you don't go there. I want to welcome you on Facebook Live to A Course in Miracles with Earl Purdy. And we're going to talk about the message of the holy relationship today. The message of the loving relationship. The message of a true relationship. On page 468 in the text, in the Course in Miracles text, Foundation for Inner Peace version. We're going to be, it's called the message of the holy relationship, which is the message of the loving relationship, which is the message of the innocent relationship. What is the message of a real relationship? What's the message of a happy relationship? On page 468 in the Course in Miracles text, I want to invite you to just take a breath and allow yourself to get centered right now. Remember, you don't have to believe the ideas, you don't have to accept the ideas, you don't have to welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas will be hard to believe, and some of the ideas will be quite startling. You are not asked to judge and analyze the ideas at all. It's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. I'm sorry, analyzing the Course in Miracles will not achieve the goal of A Course in Miracles. The purpose of the Course in Miracles is to remove the blocks to the awareness of joy, happiness, truth, love, separation. The Course says free will doesn't mean you can choose the curriculum. Free will means you can decide how much of the truth you want to learn at any given time. You have the free will to decide how much of what's really happening you want to know at any given time. So just let it in, just relax. I want to thank you for joining us around the world and Facebook Live, my mighty companions in the room, Yes. Thank you for coming in for your weekly torture session of love. I know no more love, no. You deserve happiness. You deserve prosperity. You deserve abundance. No. This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge. We want spirit to be in charge. I want the truth to be in charge. I want love to be in charge, don't you? Amen. And no, we're going to be on page 468. I'm going to go through the paragraph, and then I'm going to go through the paragraph, and then I'm going to go through the paragraph. Okay, everybody got what I'm going to do? Yeah. Okay, first I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to go back through it slowly, because I'm much more interested in us knowing what it's saying and remembering what it's saying than speeding through stuff that we don't really hear. So here we go. Ready? Let reason take another step. If you attack whom God would heal and hate the one that God loves, then you and your Creator have a different will. Yet if you are God's will, what must you then believe is that you are not yourself. You believe that you are not loved. You can indeed believe that you are not yourself. And you do. And you have faith in this, that you are not total love, and see much evidence on its behalf that you are not love. We can talk to some of y'all's exes, you know. We can get some evidence that you're not love. Yeah, get a panel, that's right. I love this book. And where you wonder, does your strange uneasiness, your sense of being disconnected, and your haunting fear of lack of meaning in yourself arise? It is as though you wandered in without a plan of any kind, except to wander off. For only that wandering off seems certain. I love A Course in Miracles. Exactly. It doesn't take any prison. So I went through it, now I'm going to go through it again. A Course in Miracles is talking about, who knows, love or... All right, so it says, let reason take another step, okay? If you attack whom love would heal, if you attack your equal, which is A Course in Miracles definition of brother. When it says brother, it's not talking about a man or a woman. It says a brother is an equal. So if you attack a person who love would heal, and the Course says, if you hate the one that God loves, you know, God loves everybody, but you hate somebody. God loves everybody. You hate somebody. The Course in Miracles says, then you and your Creator must have a different will. If God's will is that you be loved, and my will is that you get hit by a truck. and hopefully I'm driving. That doesn't sound holy, does it? Then the Course says, and then God must have a different will, right? That makes perfect sense. If the Creator wants to love everything and you got all these people you got grievances against, then you and God have a different will. Next sentence. Yet, if you are God's will, now, if you are God's will, you are love's will. You were created because love wanted to extend itself. So you are the will of love. You are here because love wanted you to exist. Then the Course says, yet if you are God's will, what you must then believe is that you're not yourself. What does that mean? If I am love, and I think that I'm anything other than love, if you are love, and I think you're anything other than love, and if I'm love, and I think I'm anything other than love, it says then I am not myself. I'm believing that I'm not myself. If I think I'm insecure, if I think I'm not really valuable, if I think I'm not really innocent, if I really believe I'm not spirit, if I believe I'm not free, then he says, well, then you don't believe that you are yourself, because yourself is innocent. Yourself is free. Yourself is the will of God. Yourself is love. We have a case of mistaken identity. That's what the Course is saying. We have amnesia. The shock of coming into the body was so great that we forgot who we are. And so now we think we are something other than nothing but love. Nothing but truth. Now, the part of you that does not believe that is going to have probably an extremely difficult time staying conscious during this class.
Wake up.
That's what you're for, to help me not go to sleep. That's what all my relationships are for. When I forget that I'm loved, I need my brothers and sisters, my equals, to remind me that I'm valuable and that I'm loved. I used to form special love relationships with people that was the last thing they did.
If that's right.
If that. Now, it always started out that way. It always started out they just couldn't get enough of me. Then it would end up, they've had enough. It's like filling a cup of coffee, a cup of, okay, right to the top. I about had as much as I want of you. And I used to be so insane. Say, how insane were you? I had tried desperately to get them back. Have y'all ever done that? Have you done that? The person that's giving you the least amount of love, that'd be the main one you'd be trying. That's right. You're out behind their house, behind some bushes, who coming and going. I know y'all done some drive-bys, by some exes. Come on now. Don't be looking at me like you ever done the drive-by. You done it. I saw Jason the other night.
What me?
Oh, you just look like you. Because I got to tell everybody here, if you ever see somebody that looks like me going down a ski slope, I'm going to shoot them. That's a clone. It's an alien from outer space. If you ever see Earl on skis, it's go, oh my God, that's a doppelganger. Okay. All right. All right. So I'll say that again. If you're attacking people that God loves, then you and your Creator have a different will. If you believe you're anything other than cool, if you believe you're anything other than love, then you don't believe that you are you. It's amazing how people say the Course in Miracles is hard to understand, right? Then it says, you can indeed believe this. Believe what? That you are not yourself. That you are not loved. And he says, and you do. You do. If you be honest with yourself, you probably don't believe you're 100% unconditional love, pure through and through. And he says, you have faith in this, that I'm not really as loving as this book says I am. And then it says, you see much evidence that, if you think you're going through lack, it doesn't sound true when they say a child of God is only abundance. If you think you're sick, it doesn't seem true that a child of God in their truest nature is totally and completely healthy. You see what I'm saying? If it looks like you're not enjoying your life, then you're seeing evidence that you're not this great thing that the Course in Miracles is saying you are. Right? It with me so far. Notice how I'm just going through the paragraph and you understand it. It's amazing how the Course in Miracles is easier to hear in a group. Come on in and have a seat, darling. That's right. That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. And I love it. Then the Course says, and where you wonder does your strange uneasiness, your sense of being disconnected, and your haunting fear of lack of meaning in yourself arises. There's plenty of seats inside. Y'all won't be disturbing if you come in and I can look at you. There's lots of seats over here. Lots of seats. Yeah, come on in. Come on in. I don't want to have to look out of my peripheral vision at beautiful people. That's against my belief system. Okay. Okay. All right. I have such beautiful communication devices enter my class, don't I? The Course says these bodies are our communication devices, that we are invisible, spiritual, unlimited beings, right? Hanging out in these physical bodies who have forgotten who we truly are. And now we believe we are people who owe Visa. Old MasterCard. Forgot that we're totally unlimited, right? So where does this haunting fear of lack and meaning in yourself arise? He says, because you think you're something other than love, lovable, and loved. There's a part of you may think you're insecure, not enough, or that you've fallen short in some way. And so, of course, that's where your sense of uneasiness is coming from. It's from losing sight of your priceless value. Last sentence in that paragraph. I love this sentence. It's hilarious. It is as though you wandered in without a plan. You know what I'm saying? Somebody had sex, you were born, now what? There's no plan. There's a divine plan for each and every one of us. If you're suffering, if you're struggling, if you're unhappy, it's because you're trying to act out the world's plan. And you're not paying attention to your heart. and what your inner self is telling you to do. You're trying to act out the script that the world has given you to act out. It's not complicated. If you're miserable and unhappy, you're not being true to yourself. Because you are priceless. You are love. That's all you are. That's all. You may think you're something else, and he says, well, that's where your sense of being disconnected comes from. It's when you lose sight of your beauty. And when you don't feel like you're valid, then you try to get a relationship, to get somebody to validate you, to give you the sense of value that you should be giving from yourself. And since they're the one who are giving you your value, then you watch them. That you make sure, it's right, where you going, what time, what, you have a tracker on their cell phone, you know what I'm saying? There are apps where you can watch each other all day long to see exactly where you go.
Where did I live before knowing about this app?
I don't know, that's right. It's a trip, it's a trip. I think that's insecurity. What do you think? I think jealousy is a form of insecurity, and it's certainly doubting the love you share. If I don't doubt the love I have for you and you have for me, and I feel whole and complete, I don't need to worry about what you're doing when you're not around me. So if you are that kind of person, then what's happening according to this? You have forgotten that you are the will of God. You are the will of love, that you are love. Love isn't something you need to put in you. Love is something that is you. That is you. We just have to get rid of everything that keeps us from knowing that. You still with me?
Yeah.
Okay? All right. I know I say a lot of loving things, so I know it's rough. Take a breath. That's right. If I wanted to have a mega church, I'd tell you you were sinful and going to hell. Okay? Sometimes I bet I'd be a good fire and brimstone teacher. You're going there tonight. That skirt too short. God is watching you. You're going to hell. And you have a full house. Why? Because you would be telling people things they already believe about themselves. They think they're worthless, and they think they're not valuable, and you say you're right. Then you are a teacher that's telling the minister that's telling them the truth. But if I say you are loved, you're beautiful, you're awesome, you're sensational, you're a spirit, you're powerful, and you don't believe it, then there's a part of the mind to go, okay, what's his game? What is he trying to get? You know what I'm saying? That's amazing what that dude would do for $1. Okay, now, so, it's about the money. Yeah, I've heard it's all about, let me tell you, if you about the money, you do not become a spiritual teacher in America. Okay? This is not the best paying gig if you want money. The person that's saying the most loving spiritual stuff is the person that people doubt the most and accused of being fraudulent. So the mere fact that I'm saying kind things makes me suspect. So I know I'm sustained by the love of God. That's why I keep doing this, and that's why I've done it for 30 years. Because I'm being taken care of something besides just people, even though I'm so grateful to people who are willing to be a channel for giving and receiving and supporting. It's really a trip. Sometimes people act like they're giving me charity, but I'm teaching and sharing. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not like you come here and you're not receiving anything, but people act like, oh, I'll just see if I'll be kind to him, polo thing, But that's why I'm on the planet, because you are me and I am you. What I give to you, I'm giving it to myself. We're not separate. You can think you're separate. I don't have to think I'm separate from you. You can forget who you are. That's not going to affect me remembering who you are. And it's not going to stop me from giving you what I'd like to receive. And I know I'm smart enough to know what I'd like to receive. Love. Peace. So that's what I give in my world. And that's all I receive in my world, except for a few insane maniacs that sometimes come through my class. But other than that, 90% of the time, I have cool people that come. And every time I have some really deep calls for love come through. So the Course says, it is as though you wandered in without a plan of any kind, except to wander off. I love that. So what is the plan? I'm just going to be wandering around, not really knowing what the heck I'm doing, why I'm here, what this is all about. And That's the only thing he says that seems certain. The only thing that seems certain is that I wander around not always sure what's going on and what to do. So that was the first paragraph. Any comments or questions or clarification about anything I've said or in this first paragraph? The floor is yours. One thing I heard out of that paragraph that I want to remember is,
I am valuable and I am loved.
I'm valuable and I'm loved. Anybody else? Any question, any comment, anything you want to reinforce? Because saying something out loud makes it a more part of your consciousness.
I have a question. I wonder if you can thresh out the word hate, because I think it means one thing. But
What do you think hate means?
I think it means in the literal sense. Just, I really hate somebody, I really despise somebody, but I don't think that's what the course means. So,
Oh, it means that. Yeah, it means you hate them. It means part of you could despise somebody, and part of you could want somebody off the planet. It means you have an intense feeling of separation and fear. Hate is intense fear. I hate you because I see you as the ultimate threat to me in some way. So it literally means if you hate somebody, you're hating who God or love loves.
the sense of the illusion of separation and fear is what I needed to hear, so thank you.
Yeah. Hate is nothing but an extreme sense of feeling separate. And what's going on in our culture and in our country right now is all of the hidden sense of hate and separation that's been repressed, suppressed, and hidden. Thanks to Brother Trump, it's coming up to be healed and to be seen. And people are missing that. If it wasn't already in people, then he couldn't bring that out. So he's not creating it. He's just giving people permission to express it without. That was the advantage of living in the South when I grew up, back in the olden days. Was, it was racial segregation, and people didn't hide it. White folk didn't like you. They call you out your name and let you know. And then it became more hidden, where people still feel that way, but they don't say it or act like it. And then we went through the illusion, because of President Obama, that all the racial healing and division in this country was a thing of the past. So every time you lie to yourself, you'll always see the opposite to show you what's true. So when we started to deceive ourselves, then we had to realize the truth, which is we still have some healing to do. And that's going to happen in any area of your life that you deceive yourself in. Soon as you go into denial about something that's really in your consciousness and in your mind, but you're trying to pretend it's not there, you will meet it and experience it in your physical world to get you in touch with what's going on subconsciously, because you're only aware of what you think consciously. And then we're tempted to think that's the whole deal. Like what I think about myself is all that I think about myself. Like there aren't hidden beliefs that I have about myself. And so the average person pretty much thinks they're a nice person. And then the Course says you'll find out you're not. Because all of a sudden you'll be the nice person with the hellacious boyfriend or girlfriend that's abusing you, hurting you, knocking you, criticizing you, judging you, or you to be the really nice person who can't pay your bills, or you to be the really nice person who on a job that you hate. It's like no, you have unconscious guilt and fear and belief in separation from your source that needs to be healed. That's why you're attracted to them, and you don't even know, why am I even attracted to this person? Because this person, they're reflecting a hidden part of your own consciousness. And so that means, based on this paragraph, it's telling us that that's a person who's forgotten who they are, and you've also forgotten who you are, and the truth is you are God's will, which means you are love. And if you hate somebody that God loves or love loves, then you got a different will from the Creator. And also it says that's why you feel disconnected, that's why you feel uneasy, and it looks like we just wandered in without a plan. That's what I loved about getting into astrology and numerology. It was a great way to get the message of what the divine plan was for my experience. And my chart was perfect for that. And everything that it told me I was good at, even if I didn't know it, I found when I pursued those things, I had a natural talent for it. And that's when the doors would open for me. Every time I would do what the world told me I should do would be when I would get jammed up. So you didn't come here without a plan. You didn't come here without a way to know what the plan is. Just don't be so closed-minded that you don't open yourself up to intuitive, psychic, spiritual awareness, and balance that with the stuff that, in other words, we need to balance the left brain with the right brain. It's like in the West, we're all about reason, logic, and analytical thinking, and we don't give any kind of real credence to intuitional, psychic, inner awareness, and that's really sad about us over here. You know, and then we ridicule people who do it differently, you know. So, anybody else before I go to the next? Yes, then we work over to Chris. Miss Megan, yes.
What I want to remember is kind of like if I read this backwards, which you've taught me how to do, and I really appreciate that, is that if I realize that I don't know who I am, but if I realize that I am God's will and that I am love, then I'm not going to want to attack people. So the way that I'll know that I know who I am is if I'm experiencing a lack of wanting to hurt or attack others. If I'm feeling a lack of hatred, if I'm feeling a lack of separation, that means I'm remembering who I am through God and that we have the same will.
Excellent. I love it when you talk dirty. That's good stuff right there. Did you hear that? One of the ways I know I'm actually beginning to see myself as love is how little I want to attack or hurt anybody around me. Actions speak louder than words. 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 Did I say actions speak louder than words? Okay. And really pay attention to it, because on the New Thought, New Age personal growth path, people become very astute at saying all the right things because they're reading books that tell them that. Which is good. But what you want to do is watch how they're expressing themselves and how they're behaving, especially when they're not trying to impress you. Because if a person's trying to impress you, they're going to agree with whatever you say. You know, if I'm trying to impress you, you know, then you say, I'm in the Course in Miracles. I am too. I don't even know what it is, but I want to study it with you. I'll be at that class next week. Yeah, because I want to get next to you. That's why when you meet somebody, don't you do all the talking. Let them talk. Let them express themselves. See what their level of consciousness is without any input from you. That's when you know what they're about. Because the ego, when it wants specialness, it's just going to mirror whatever you say. And it's going to say whatever it is it thinks you want to hear. Because I'm trying to get next to you. Okay. Chris.
So, as you read this, what was coming up for me is when I tell myself that I'm not getting it, that's just cool for me saying I want to be right.
Yeah.
And so I'm recognizing that more, and so I find myself saying, well, I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong.
Oh yeah, that's the statement of a wise person. If you're miserable, you don't want to be right about anything. You tell it yourself.
Yeah, and if I want to analyze it, keep hitting my head against the wall, it's like, I want to be right. I want this to fit a certain way of, like, the way that I've constructed it in my mind. Oh, it's insane. It's insane.
It's almost like if I misplace my wallet, and if I'm really smart, I'll go, I hope I'm wrong about that. I hope I'm wrong that I've lost my wallet and that I'm never going to see it again. I don't want to be right about it. Right? I want to be wrong about it. So anything in your life that you're feeling less than peace and joy and happiness about, don't insist on being right. Tell yourself, I hope I'm not right about it. I hope there is another way to look at this. I hope I am wrong. There's nothing wrong with being feeling wrong. You know, I used to be, when I got in metaphysics early in the game, I used to hear this thing, which is ultimately true, but all directions, everything is right. There are no wrong choices. There are no wrong decisions, you know. In eternity, you're right. But if you don't live forever, it's good to get some things quicker. You know what I'm saying? I could try to get to California by heading east. And I would eventually get there. But it would have been better if someone said, going east is the wrong way, you need to go west. Would have saved a lot of time. So there's nothing wrong with saying this is right-minded, this is wrong-minded. This is okay for me to do, this is not okay. Don't buy into everything is right. Yeah, but you don't have to. Every direction is right. You don't have time enough to try every direction. You would die before you use every direction. You won't live long enough to try every choice. So it would be helpful if someone told you, this choice is going to delay you, and this choice is going to speed you up. So I don't mind the universal spirit saying, Raj, look here, buddy, that's the wrong direction to go in. Save me some time, Lord. I'd rather be happy than be right. Right?
Right.
Okay, and that's why I go to the next paragraph, right?
Yeah.
Okay, first you know what I'm doing, I'm gonna read it. And then we're gonna, now this is gonna be a trip paragraph, it's gonna test me. All right, here we go to the next paragraph. I'd like to make a special request. Can I have a smile? Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much. What'd you say?
I said, don't get used to it.
I won't. I know. Except for a second. I'm not going to get spoiled. All right. Guess it's so easy. It's so easy to do. Okay, here's the next paragraph. Here we go. And sometimes it's cool to close your eyes and listen to my voice. Yet we have heard a very similar description earlier, but it was not of you. But still this strange idea, which it does accurately describe, you think is you. You think you are your ego. You think you are the part that thinks you are what you think you are. You think you are a body. You think you are the concepts. You think you are the programs that the world has given you. Reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not yours must make no sense to you, must make no sense to you. Guess what? To whom would seeing such as this send back its messages? Surely not you, surely not you. Do you know, 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 do you know? The brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. I'll say it again. Your brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. What your vision sees, this you would understand. The brain interprets to the body. I say the brain interprets to the body of which the brain is a part. But what your brain says interpreted to your body, you cannot understand. Yet you've been listening to your interpretations of your brain from the world. And long and hard, you have tried to understand the messages that are coming from the physical world through your brain that's being interpreted to you. So, it says, you've heard a very similar description earlier, but it wasn't of you. But still, this strange idea, which it does accurately describe, you think is you. So what does that mean? You think you are a separate being. And the world is constantly convincing you that you are a separate being. And we look at everything from the perspective that we are separate beings. And the Course is saying, this strange idea, which it does accurately describe, you think is you. But your reason would tell you, I love this sentence. This paragraph is so deep. It says, reason would tell you that the world you see through eyes that are not your eyes must make no sense to you. I'll say it again. The world you see through eyes that are not yours don't make any sense to you. Why is it that the Course is saying, why is it the world doesn't make a lot of sense to us? It's just because you're seeing it through eyes that are not your real eyes. You're seeing the world through the eyes that the world has programmed you to see everything through. You're using all the descriptions that the world has told you. that we are doing love, abundance, happiness, every way that we've been programmed. And of course, calls that our ego. It's the false self, the false idea of ourselves that we've learned since we've been born. He says, it's almost as if it's like this, like your ego or your programming from the world is like a pair of glasses. And when you put the glasses on, you're looking at the world through those lenses. And he says, so you're really looking at the world through eyes that are not your eyes.
Through glasses.
Right. You're looking at everything through the programming and the learning and indoctrinations and cultural conditions that you've gotten since you were a child. He says, so you're not really seeing things through your eyes. You're seeing things through the eyes that aren't your eyes. And he says that's why it looks like it doesn't make any sense. That's why one of the most common things that people say is, this don't make any sense, you don't make any sense, I don't make any sense, this is crazy. So he's saying, the Course is saying right there, well, to whom would seeing such as this send back his messages? Surely not you, whose sight is wholly independent of the eyes that look upon the world. So there is me, and then there are my glasses. I'm not my glasses. And you are not your perception. You are not your perception. You are not your perception. You are not what you learn to think that you are. And the Course is saying something actually really obvious. He says, actually, if you're looking through eyes that aren't your eyes, then it makes sense that it won't make much sense to you. Because your sight is totally independent of the eyes that look on the world. There is Earl, and then that's the way the world has taught Earl to look. But my sight, like he's saying here, my sight is totally independent of the eyes of the world. My sight is actually independent of the glasses that I'm looking through. Some people are looking at the world through very dark glasses. So all they see is anger and fear and what to be afraid of and sickness and attack. And they don't know that's the movie they're watching. That's the programming that they're using. But you have a way of seeing things that's totally independent of the way that you've learned to see things in the world. Is that making sense to everybody? I want to check in. And then it says, well, to whom is such seeing sending back his message? It says, not to you. So if this is not your vision, then what can it show you? If you're looking at things in a way that's not loving, if you're looking at things in a way that's not uplifting, the Course in Miracles is saying if you're not seeing love, if you're not seeing the truth, then what can it show you? If I'm not seeing the truth, then what I'm saying isn't showing me anything. Anything that I hear, believe, or focus in on that would make me not want to love you and appreciate you, then that is not something that's coming from my vision. That's coming from my programming. There is you, and then there's who you think you are. There's you and what you are taught to believe that you are. From the time, growing up in the black body, from the time I landed on the planet, I was taught I was a victim of everything, all the time, always. I still hear it. Who gets prostate cancer first? Black men over 50. We always the ones that get hit with everything first. Everything you look at. Not to mention in horror movies, we're the first ones to get bumped off. Y'all know when y'all watch horror movies, y'all know we're the first one to go in the house and the monster kill. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, I've been wanting to talk about that. I've been wanting to,
It's so special.
and I found out I was the one that created the whole thing, so. You take responsibility for your experience, and you can't be a victim anymore.
Sorry, bro.
That's all right. That's all right. Okay, hold on just a second, brother. All right. So if you're looking at, let's take any area of your life. If you're looking at your relationships as always being something that causes you pain, then you're looking at relationship through eyes that are not yours. You're looking at relationship through the eyes you were programmed. And you program yourself to look at it through. If you're seeing yourself as having lack in your life in some area, it's because you got lack glasses on. And so therefore you're not seeing the abundance that surrounds you. If you walk in this room and let's say you got a lot of hang-ups and a lot of grievances, you won't even see the people that smile at you. You'll focus in on the person that looked like they weren't smiling at you. See, you're the one that determines what you see and how you see. Your world is a total reflection of your own consciousness. So to change your world, all you have to do is change your mind. And changing your mind is easier than changing my mind. So this is the easier path, even though it's the path that most people don't like, because it means they have to take responsibility for their experience and they can continually blame everybody else for what they're going through, which is easier. You know, I could just go, it's all my dad's fault. It's easier. You know, if you were different, I'd be happy. That's easier. So I can understand why it's real popular to blame everybody else for everything that you're going through. And you could all give me great justification. I know that. And if I went to any one of you and you could tell me something you're suffering about, you could very convincingly try to tell me how it's the other person's fault and you didn't have anything to do with that. You were just as nice as apple pie, and somehow or another just everything went wrong. I know. Okay, so I understand. But that perception will never free you. That perception will never empower you, no matter how much you like it. You got to let it go now. You got to let your story go now. You got to let your story go now. Your story brought you up to this point, and it's now time to let your story go. And everybody around you will support that because they're tired of hearing it themselves. So you don't have to worry about support when it comes to letting your story go. We are glad. 100%. I'll support you and never tell me about your ex ever again. Yes. Okay. See, to me, this is a joke book from God. I wonder why other people don't laugh at this as much as I do, because to me, spirit has a sense of humor. Yeah. You know. Then it says, your brain, I love this part. It says, the brain cannot interpret what your vision sees. See, you are a spiritual being. You have vision. You can see truth. You can see love. But your brain is the part that's helping you interpret what you're seeing through your physical senses. And what you're looking at through your physical senses, you can't understand. Like if you went inside a central office at the telephone company and you saw all these wires going everywhere, I used to work there, then that's me looking at it through my brain. And my brain is trying to interpret it. And what I look at through my brain, through my interpretations and interpretations I don't know and I don't understand, I say, I don't understand. So it's the things we're seeing through our physical senses that we don't understand. It's the things we see through our spiritual senses that we understand. See, we all understand love. We all understand kindness. We all understand oneness in our gut. But what we see through our body's eyes, it don't make no damn sense. Some of the stuff we see going on, it just don't make any sense. And that's what the Course is just saying. You're right. It doesn't make any sense. Nothing that you're seeing is being seen through the part of you that is totally loving and totally spirit and totally real. You're looking at the world through the eyes of your programming and the eyes of your past and the eyes of your past experiences. So it says you listen to it. He says you have listened to it and long and hard. You've tried to understand its messages. I've been trying to understand the messages for a long time. I'm listening to this thing. We should hate each other. We should be separate from each other. There is not enough. That I should hold a grievance. That I should have blame. Broken into by periods that I let myself have a good time. You and I have been trying to understand this for a long time. And of course, it's saying, well, the reason why you don't understand it is that nothing that you're looking at are you seeing through your eyes. You're looking at it through the world's eyes. You got this set of glasses that have been programmed by the world that you're looking through. And that's why it doesn't make any sense. So the Course in Miracles is saying, before you take the glasses off, first we're going to clean the glasses. And that's what the book is about, clearing up my perception of things so that my interpretations of the world now are more in line with the truth, which will free me to the point that I have vision, which means I don't need my glasses anymore. See, we're trying to get to the point you don't need these glasses anymore because your perception is true. How can I tell when my perception is true? When I have peace. And when I'm looking at things through peace. That's how I know I love knowing that if I'm upset, I'm wrong. That's why, Earl, you're upset. There's something you're not seeing correctly. There's another way for you to look at this. I don't care what's happening. It could be a tragedy. There's still another way of looking at it that could allow you to have more peace. I don't care how negative you think something is. There's another way of looking at it. Unless you just want to suffer. If I want to suffer, I won't take the glasses off. Not only will I not take the glasses off, I'll weld them to my brain. Because I insist that the way I'm looking at things is right, because you know what? I've built a whole world around the way I look at things. I know how to navigate myself around my insecurities about relationships. I've learned how to juggle my credit card payments. So I've built a whole world around the way I see things. This is threatening that. And so, of course, we resist it. Because I don't know how to be completely vulnerable, completely open, completely trusting, to live from a place of total responsibility. That's like, whoa, what are you talking about? But being a victim, I know how to pull that one off. Looking at my life through the idea that I'm Earl Purdy, black man, I know how to pull that one off. But I don't know how to pull off I'm beyond this body and I'm an unlimited spiritual being created by an all-loving creator that is part of that I'm not a victim of this, I'm actually the creator of this. That I need help for that. I need a teacher. And that's what the Holy Spirit is. That's the part of us that wants to teach us how to navigate this experience in such a way that we're not suffering. But you have to want to. If you don't want to forgive, then this class will never help you. If you don't want to see things differently, then there's nothing in this class that's going to ever help you. You have to want it. You can't come in here resisting everything I'm saying and then think you're going to benefit from it. You have to go, I may not understand how to have an all-loving, beautifully loving, supportive life, but I want one, even if I don't know how it's going to happen. So your part is to be clear about what you want. The how of it is not your business. You can want a loving relationship, but you can't decide how it's going to happen. Because you don't know all the details. How many times in your life have you chosen a relationship, for instance? I talk about relationships a lot because The Course in Miracles is a book on how to achieve spiritual enlightenment through the way you deal with relationships. Yeah. That's what the whole book is about. It says you got a relationship to everything and everybody, not just people, to your car, to your house, to your money, to your job. So the Course is saying you have a ton of relationships, but you do them really lousy. So let me teach you how to do it correctly by teaching you how to see them correctly. But you have to want to see them differently. Don't bring people to my class who you know would absolutely hate it. You know who your friends are who would just come here and they would hate it. That's why they're your friend. You know them. Somebody you know that all they're going to do is bring a negative vibe into the room, just spare me. Because I am not going to try to convince them of anything. Because that would mean I didn't believe what I'm teaching. If you defend yourself, you don't believe it. There's nothing for me to defend. There's nothing for you to defend. If you know you're right and what you're doing is the right thing for you, you don't have to spend 5 minutes trying to convince somebody else about the rightness of what you're doing. That weakens your position. Because they're not helping to increase that idea. So if you believe in something and you really had a revelation and you feel inspired and you're moved to do something, don't go talking about it to people who are going to tell you, I think that's crazy. Or who are going to immediately tell you another, no, you don't need to do that. You need to do it this way right here. If your heart and your soul are in harmony and in congruent and you're like turned on and it's not something that's an attack, then be quiet. Don't share that with anybody unless you're sharing it with someone who you know is awake enough to support you in following your heart. But you don't go talk to people who you know they're going to, because in a way, what that does is, if they're doing it another way, they're going to feel compelled to try to get you to look at it their way, because they've already decided it's another way to do it. So they're not going to jump on the bandwagon with what you're saying. No one with a personal investment is a reliable witness. You need to put that up on the wall. No one with a personal investment is a reliable witness. If I'm your boyfriend and you tell me about the cute guy you met at work that you want to ask him my advice about, should you go out to dinner with him? I got a personal investment. I'm not going to be a reliable witness. Nobody's a reliable witness. That's why you can get the best advice on the airplane. They don't even know you. So they objected. But you're going to go talk to your family about should you take the job out of town? Unless they be glad for you to go. They might go, oh yes, take it. Take it tomorrow, please. But that's what I said. You want somebody who wants you to do what you want to do. But you get me. Can you feel me? Can you feel? If you want to get advice, go to somebody that's subjected to the situation, not the people who are most invested. It's hard to talk about freedom to your lover.
Oops.
That's the last thing they want you to have if they're of the fear-based mind. Fear-based people are not about freedom. They're about limitation, and they define love by how much they can limit you to their personal purposes, to fulfill their personal needs because of their insecurity and their need to be built up. So if you're going to be in a relationship, if you're that way, get with somebody else just as insecure as you. That's how you do that. Get with somebody just as jealous as you are. Don't get with a person that's not jealous if you're jealous. They're going to keep you jealous all the time. But if you're with somebody and they're jealous and they have issues that they're trying to work through, and you're jealous and you got issues, then you all can relate to each other. You got the same things you're trying to work through. Beautiful that you would try to go beyond that together. But don't be asking for people who have qualities far beyond those that you can express. Or you just feel more insecure and more threatened. But that's what people ask for. The most insecure person will be praying for the lover that's totally confident. And that person will drive them out of their friggin' mind. Because they won't need to check in 10 times a day. They won't need 100 texts. You're a 100 text person, you need to go find you 100 texts. I'm going to start a website, the 100 text website. Let's make you some money. How many of y'all ever had friends, lovers that need 100 texts a day? They constantly, if you're not checking in, they freaking out. That's right. I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. Loving, confident people drive insecure, fearful people bananas. But they always ask for them. They always pray for them. Don't keep asking for people who don't have qualities that are not like yours. You want equals. You want an equal. You want an equal. I'm not totally, wholly complete in my love for myself yet, and I'm working on it. Are you the same way? Yes. I'm also trying to learn how to be more loving also. Let's learn together. Boom. And in this world, you have a lot of partners.
That's right.
Finding insecure people who think that they need to cling in order to be happy is not a hard search. But you know why it seems like it? Because people keep wanting people who have qualities they don't have. And then it seems like it's hard to find. Why am I not attracting this really perfect guy? Why am I not attracted to this really? You aren't that way.
Right.
There's not nobody on their knees at night going, oh Lord, send me the most dysfunctional person I could ever have a relationship with. Then you have a lot of phone calls. So you have to be what you want to have. And I say a lot of things over and over again for people who come. They know I do because that's how you get it. You deserve love, but you got to be honest with yourself. You have to stop looking at the world through eyes that aren't yours. Stop using the programming of the world. Don't even put anything I'm saying before the truth and the feeling of your own being. Not a teacher, not a minister, not anybody with big famous books. They're your equals. They're just more amplified. Oprah is just amplified. She is no more superior or inferior to you or you to her or anybody that we revere. They're just people who have their own lessons, their own opinions, things that they're sharing, and just because they say it doesn't make it law. But that's what we do. Well, Oprah said it, so Earl said it. I love the ultimate freedom of being unknown.
Me too.
I'm too out there. I don't need to be known. It just cut off too much fun for me.
Yeah.
Who needs fame? Who needs that prison?
Not me.
Really, think about it for a while. How would you like if you got ready to walk out here today and there was 100 reporters out there taking pictures of you? You're on the toilet and that thing, the flash go off. It's deep in it. Pee in private, that's what I say. That's a new website I got. See, I'm too irreverent to ever be famous. I'm glad. I'm glad. Aren't you glad you're free?
Yes.
Isn't that good to be free? So it's time for you to understand that There's a vision in you. You have vision. You know the truth. You are love. That's the truth about you. Stop looking at your world through eyes of your parents and eyes of the world. And most of all, the eyes of your past. Know that those are glasses you're putting on, that it's time to go. Stop looking at your relationships, your spiritual awareness, your financial situation, your career, whatever it is. Stop looking at it through the lens of the world and the lens of the past. Your Creator's will is for you to have perfect happiness. That's all you deserve. That's all that I want for you. Because I don't want my will to be different from God's will. I want it to be, I want to know myself as that love. And so it's easy for me to see it with you and feel it with you because I'm not special to you. Special people, we free. We don't free. People who aren't special to us, we let them live their lives and we don't interfere with them. And we as long as they're not attacking us, we let them be. It's the people that are special to us that we put all of our scripts on to make us happy if we're not aware. So the truth is, you're already loving everybody in the world because 99% of the people in the world you're not messing with. You're not interfering. None of y'all care what I did last night, who I did it with, and who I might do it with tonight or not. You don't. Why? Because I'm not your special partner. You reserve that kind of imprisonment and limitation for the ones you love. Think about what I'm saying. So if you got like 10 people in your life that are special, that they're the ones you can give yourself pain about and you care about what they do and you freak out, then you should be acknowledging yourself. You're down to the last 10 people. Everybody else, everybody else is cool. That's good news. You only got less than 10 people that you really get yourself all upset about what they do. That's not a lot of people for you to get to the point you give yourself peace about. You're closer to complete peace and love than you can ever imagine.
Yes.
You're much further along than you think you are. That's good news. That's good news. That's good news. So say to yourself, above all else, I want to see. Let's hear you say that. Above all else, I want to see. One more time. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Would you acknowledge yourself, please, for letting yourself hear this much of what I'm asking? I mean, you can do better for yourself. Come on. Online, my mighty companions. Woo, I love how y'all can talk to each other and making comments. So I'm going to do one little quick recap, and then we can go out here and make some more guilt. Okay? Just
That means money.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Guilt is money.
Thank you. Those who would like to make a financial expression of appreciation to my teaching ministry and supporting what we're doing here, I really, really appreciate it. And I give you that opportunity. You're innocent, whether you do or don't. It's okay. Let me pass that. Those of you online that are watching, I would really appreciate it. If you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, go to my website, Earl Purdy, PURDY.com. EarlPurdy.com. Well, I'm available for one-on-one sessions called clarity sessions that I take all my 30-plus years of working with people and take it to the personal situations that you are dealing with, that you're ready to have healed in your experience. And if you're open-minded about it, it's not something you have to do, but if you're open-minded about it, I also use my knowledge of astrology and numerology in the sessions with you. And so there are a lot of ways to get information that could be helpful to you. And I wouldn't be doing something for 3 decades that had no validity, but it wasn't helpful. I'm not that insane. So you'd be amazed at how much easier your experience could be if you just became open-minded and was willing to invest in your own awakening and your own growth. Like I said, I can help you if you want to be helped, but I don't do battle. I don't get with people and they're resisting me and I say it's okay, I'm going to try to get you past your resistance. No. Because that's a person that hasn't made up their mind to be happy yet. And that usually happens for most people after a lot of suffering. So don't knock your suffering. If your suffering got you to the point that you're now open to another way of looking at it, then now you're looking at your suffering in another way. You know, because the universe will rush to your aid. Spirit will rush. It's just waiting for you to say, okay, I'm ready to be happy more than I want to be right. We have more invisible help than we could possibly imagine. if we would allow ourselves to know that. I do 3 Facebook Live classes, so you can watch my classes whether you're here or not on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook, Earl Purdy page. Follow it. Those of you online, please share the video. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. I do the Way of Mastery, 7 p.m. Thursdays, I do what I call hardcore Course in Miracles, that is primarily aimed at people who are actually studying the Course in Miracles. Anybody can watch a course, but it will make more sense to you if you're studying, because I try to do that class for people who are in it. And then, of course, on Sunday, we have this wonderful live presentation with you all. And you just blessings in my life. My appreciation of you is beyond what I could even begin to express to you. My glasses are clean. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. You're ultimate. And then when I finish everything, Sheila's going to make an announcement to let you know about some stuff too. Okay? All right. So I'm going to go through the 2 paragraphs one more time, and we'll hear it. And what I want you to do is to take one thing that you hear that you wanted to remember, which is really cool right now. Oh yeah, if you want to find out more about the clarity sessions, go to my website. You can self-book appointments on my website. I got it set up now where you can book an appointment to talk to me right there from the website. And I love to go one-on-one and deeper with people. You know, I'm working with people from all over the world. It is really, I tell you what, the way the Spirit is using technology is incredible. I mean, we see a lot of things around technology that we have a challenge with, but we don't realize that there are thousands and thousands of groups like this all over the world where people are doing what I'm doing that you don't know about, that are not famous, that are not the big wigs. But there's a humongous level of truth reaching people right now. And that's also partially why we see so much insanity, because it's pushing it all up to be released, because so much truth is coming in, the darkness is being exposed and being released. And that's good news. That's good news. That's good news. That's good news. So, give me a couple of things, people. One thing you want to remember. Anybody? Give me a couple of folks.
So if I'm seeing you as less than love, then it's because of there's still a lack of love inside myself.
That's right. I'm not seeing that. Yeah, whatever you're seeing in me, that's what you need to get in touch with within your own mind. And it's important to say, people used to say, what I see in you is what I see in me. But really, what you see in someone is what you're seeing in your mind. You are whole and complete. You are whole and complete. Your perception is what you're looking at. So if I have a lack of love for myself, it doesn't mean that I'm not a wholly loving being. It just means in my mind, I'm not seeing myself that way, so I don't see that in you. See the difference?
Yes.
Yeah, and always remember that. Demola.
So if God, my Creator, created me perfectly as love, and I'm not seeing love or loving somebody else, then I must be seeing myself as not my true reality.
That's right. Just along with what Simon just got to saying. Exactly. Exactly, Marjorie.
Options are objective, but they're not always expedient.
All right. Okay. All right. I look like it came out all true and hoity-toity there. I love you, Marjorie. Yeah. Yeah. Josh.
So much easier to change myself rather than trying to change other people.
Hello. Hello. Good.
I am not a victim of the world I have seen.
I am not a victim of the world I see. I'm a claim. I am definitely responsible for how I see things.
God's love is me. God's will for me. I am love and I am lovable.
That's right. Completely, Sunshine. You're loving and lovable. Anastasia.
My emotions are a barometer of how I'm seeing the world.
That's right. That's right. I can tell by my perception how I'm feeling. You pay attention. The Course says the one right use of judgment is your feelings. Because you can talk yourself in and out anything, but you be honest with yourself. You know when you're not feeling total peace.
Yeah.
So yes.
That I can tell my interpreter is broken because this world doesn't make any sense.
That's right.
I need to realize that my vision is separate than my interpreter, my perception.
That's
so
right.
I can change it.
That's right. If I don't understand what I see, I'm not looking through my eyes.
Right.
That's deep. That's deep. Yes, Patricia.
Yes. What was I going to say?
Oh, we
we all come in with a purpose, and
Yes.
that purpose is love. And so when we're trying to make a decision, we need to align with our purpose.
You need to align with my purpose. You need to align. And how can you tell when you're out of alignment?
Lack of peace.
That your lack of peace.
Look
That your
around.
lack of peace. Look around. Open your eyes.
Good job. Look around.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. If you're not being true to yourself, you feel disconnected. But I want you to remember that you are the will of God. That means that you are love. There is a divine plan for your life. There is a divine plan for your life. And the truth spirit is just waiting for you to ask. And the chorus says the perfect prayer is this. Ask to be able to recognize what you already have. Ask to be able to recognize what you already have. That's what the Course in Miracles says is the perfect prayer. I ask to recognize. I ask to be able to recognize what I already have. Ask to recognize what you already have. Above all else, I want to see. Say it. Above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to see. Above all else, I want to see. I am determined to see things differently. 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 I am entitled to miracles. 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 Like my brother said, I am not the victim of the world I see. I am not the victim of the world I see. Acknowledge yourself for being so cool. I know there's a lot of things you could have been doing today instead of being here with me. So I thank you so much. Don't forget, hugs are available. I love hugs. And Miss Sheila, let's acknowledge Sheila. She is the lady of this church. She is the lady of the church.
One of many. I just have two things I wanted to mention today. At